Alright, so this little video is on KWL charts and what they are. So KWL stands for know, want to know, and learned. So what do I know about a subject? What do I want to know about a subject? And what have I learned about a subject? So for right now, I'm going to kind of put this stuff off to the side. I'm going to collapse it over here, just get rid of it, because what I want us to focus on is just the K and W part of our KWL chart. So we'll have a K side and a W side, and we'll make what's called a T chart here, okay? You can also do this by creating a table on a Google Doc. If you want to type stuff in, you can do that as well, and that'll work just as easy. So we got our KW, K section, and our W section, and then what this is for is really to sort out what we know and what we want to know about a certain subject, so that when we approach a subject, we can be aware of the subject and fully engaged in what the subject is. So let's take a subject that we all like and know something about, and that is pizza. Okay? So we all know a little bit something about pizza. Maybe we all want to know a little bit more about pizza. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually look at what we know about pizza. Okay? And you can have facts or opinions in here, and I'm actually just going to go ahead and I'm going to write, my first statement is going to be an opinion. It tastes good. Okay? Tastes good. I know that for a fact, even though it's an opinion. So pizza tastes good. It has dough. Okay? We know that it uses some sort of dough. Okay? Oh, that is really sloppy. Actually, it might be easier to just write with my finger. There are toppings. So there are things that go on top of the pizza to make it even tastier. Be things, pepperonis, as shown in the picture here. Olives tend to be something that's put a lot on toppings as far as toppings go for pizza. Sauce is generally on pizza. Now, we gotta make sure that we know that not all pizza is the same. So we might know something about certain types of pizza, but that doesn't mean that it applies to all pizza. This is a very specific type of pizza, and I use this example for a reason. This pizza itself is square, which is different than the typical round pizzas we see. So we know that pizzas do not have to be round to be pizzas, okay? So we can say they can be squarish or roundish. Squarish or roundish. Okay, this one's square, but they also come round. We also know that most pizzas have cheese and tomato sauce. Most pizza I don't want to do that. Most pizza uses cheese and tomato sauce. All right. So, recapping here. It tastes good. It has dough. There are toppings. They can be squarish or roundish. Most pizza uses cheese and tomato sauce. I want you right now to come up with one other thing that you know about pizza. Okay? So, what is it that you know about pizza? And I want you to write it in the blank right here where those three dots are. So, take a pause. What is one thing that we haven't written down that you know about pizza? All right, now that you have paused, you've written in what you know about pizza, we are going to make sure that we come over to the other side of this chart and we fill out the what we want to know. And these should be questions, okay? And it's good to have many questions when you're looking at a new subject because if it's new, you should want to know more about it, okay? This isn't a new subject for us, but there are some questions that I think that somebody like you might have when thinking about pizza. And that first question is, how is it made? Now, maybe some of you know and have made your own pizza before, but this is my KW chart, and I'm pretending I don't know how it's made, even though, yes, I have made my own pizza before. I do know how it's made, but I'm putting that as what I would want to know. How is it made? Okay. Another one. When was it invented? Okay, when was it invented? So that's another good question to answer. And we're going to answer that when we move into looking at an article on pizza. So now that we have our article, we can read the article, and then what we can do is we can actually go and fill out what we learned. So that's the L section, okay? So down below, we'll go ahead and we'll fill out the L section, okay, what we learned. And that way, this will be a running record of our notes where we've kind of documented our learning path here. We have our know prior to reading, what we wanted to know prior to reading, and then we'll mark down what we've learned as we read. Let's go ahead and read this here. And I'll use my, I like the lightsaber, but let's go with Luke's rebuild from Return of the Jedi. So, flatbreads with toppings were consumed by ancient Egyptians, Romans, and Greeks. The latter ate a version with herbs and oil, similar to today's focaccia. Okay? But the modern birthplace of pizza is in southwestern Italy's Campania region, home to the city of Naples. Founded around 600 BC as a Greek settlement, Naples in the 1700s and early 1800s was a thriving waterfront city, technically an independent kingdom. It was notorious for its throngs of working people, or lazzaroni. The closer you got to the bay, the more dense their population. And much of their living was done outdoors, sometimes in homes that were little more than a room, says Carol Halowski, author of Pizza, A Global History, and associate professor of history at the University of Denver. So, this little article here, let's go ahead and take another read, but this time let's highlight things that might actually address some of these questions that we want to know, such as how is it made, or when was it invented? Okay, so when was it invented? Well, it doesn't say an exact day when it was invented, but let's take another read of the article and let's see if we can underline anything important, or actually let's use our highlighter here. Highlight anything important that we see in this article that might pertain to when it was invented. So, flatbreads with toppings were consumed by the ancient Egyptians, Romans, and Greeks. The later ate a version with herbs and oil, similar to today's focaccia. But the modern birthplace of pizza is southwestern Italy's Campania region, home to the city of Naples. So first off, if we want to just kind of stop here, I think this would be an important thing to write down, something that maybe we didn't ask a question about, but it's nice to know where pizza is actually from. So it says right here, the birthplace of pizza is southwestern Italy's Campania region in Naples, okay? So let's continue to read. Founded around 600 BC as a Greek settlement, Naples in the 1700 and early 1800 was a thriving waterfront city. Technically an independent kingdom, it was notorious for its throngs of working poor, or lazzaroni. The closer you got to the bay, the more dense their population, and much of their living was done outdoors, sometimes in homes that were little more than a room. Okay, so that doesn't really give us a whole lot more information about when it was invented, but we can kind of use these dates over here to get an idea. So Naples in the 1700s and early 1800s was a thriving waterfront city. Okay, and in order to feed more people, they had to have something that was quick and easy to create. Okay, so they created the pizza that was a flatbread that could have the toppings put on, and it can be taken and eaten anywhere. Okay, so these two little items right here are definitely something that we learn from reading this article. Now, this article is super short. This is used as an example on how to finish a KW chart. This is in no means all the information that's going to be available to you when you're doing your assignment. This is just a quick example. So we learned that the modern birthplace of pizza, we can say, the birthplace of pizza is Naples. Okay? All right. The birthplace of pizza is Naples. It was popular during the 1700s and 1800s. That's a horrible 8. All right. And then if we zoom out from here, and we take a look, move this article over here. That's what the article look like. Okay, we have our know, want to know, and what we learn. Okay, so again, if any part of this you got stuck on or were confused about, rewind this, watch it over again. Now, one of the things I want to point out here is that we only read this twice. Okay, really, you want to read, as we practice in class, you want to read at least 3 times to get all the information out. Okay, this was just a quick example, so we just did a cold and warm read, but we only got 2 pieces of information that we learned. Okay, so again, any questions, you can message me. If you just need to rewatch it, go for it. If you need to pause it in certain sections, pause it, rewind. This video is for you to learn how to do the KWL chart for this assignment.